Hello, Thomas YouTubers. Today we got Leah's talking action James out on the table today. But first I want to talk about what this is. If you have a train that you want, loco that you want fixed, the way I do it to keep it all our information private from the rest of the world is you'll contact me through this video and you say, hey, I want a train repaired. And what will happen is I'll put this up for sale. I call it a token. I put this token up for sale on eBay. And let's say you have one train that needs to be repaired. We'll put it up for $14. That'll pay for the shipping back to you. I'll repair it. I'll send this to you. All right. And then you'll have my address and everything else. And you'll ship it and the train back to me. I'll repair it. And that $14 that I got from you will pay for the train to come back to you. All right. So that's the deal with the token. So if you want repaired, talk to me in the comments of this video and we'll work it out. But that's how I do that. That keeps our information private from everybody else. Okay, but we got Leah's talking action James up here. Let's take a look around. Obviously, the face is in a little rough condition. I do not have my paintbrush, airbrush gun out working right now, so I can't fix that. But the body looks in pretty good shape. The windows are here in the cab, are both there. Got a wire hanging out like we saw earlier. The mechanism for the talking action arm is stiff. It won't move. The wheels are sort of stiff too, and it's in the off position. There's something that catches there. Yep, something catching there. The coupler is in good shape, not broken there. The tender is in excellent shape. I mean, hardly anything wrong at all with this tender. All right. And, you know, look at the buffers. The buffers are good. The buffers are good. And the buffers back here are good. It's just that it's got a lot of wear right there. I think that's where, when they say, like when I say, let's give it a run, and I'll grab it right here and turn it on, that's your fingers rubbing that off. So you need to learn to grab somewhere else. I just leave this on and turn it off and on back there. But anyway, so we're going to have to get into it and see. Let's put some batteries in it, see what happens. Okay, I got it in the on position. This is in the on position. Let's rub this. Sometimes you rub there it goes, turned on. You hear it running. So there's a loose wire back here somewhere on the switch. The wheels, you hear the motor running, but the wheels are not. There's something getting stuck in there. Hear that? That's not good. Something's telling me because of this is jammed up and these are jammed, that's what's wrong with it. Also, we got an extra wire hanging out here. Don't know what that is. Speaker wire, I take it. All right, so let's go ahead and shut it off and let's get inside of it. It looks like this one screw that was here was not holding anything on, so it might be broken up in there. This one's really being a little hard coming out. Okay, there's no weights up front. There is a weight in the rear, and there's one weight over the motor. Okay, remember when I told you that the one screw just fell right out and I couldn't get the other one out? This is the one that stayed in. I couldn't get it out. But this is the side where the screw fell out. If you notice the difference in it, the top of this has been broken off over here on this side. It should look like this, but it's been broken off right over there. So, but it still will hold together with this one. You just got to be very careful if you ever take it apart again not to break it. This wire is, let's tighten up a little bit so you can see. All right, if you remember on my other videos on Leah's model, these are the two inductors I was talking about, the capacitor in the middle, inductors on either side. But this looks upside down. Normally these are down here. So I don't know. This is very loose right here. When you turn it off and on, let's see the button. That's probably a problem right there. It probably pushes it out of the way. It needs to be more back right there. All right, let's see. What else we got going on right here? Ooh, right there. What's all that? Got a little, like a lot of burn marks right there. I don't know why that was there. There is a weight missing that's supposed to be right here. That's not there. That's all right. What happens to these weights, a lot of times they just brittle and fall apart. Okay. All right. I'm going to take a look at it and move on. Oh, let's see what this brown wire is. Probably goes to the speaker. I don't see it. There's supposed to be, okay, there's the other brown. Okay, let me look here. Okay, that's it. Both brown wires for the speaker. Oh, let me move where you can see. Make it bigger. Both brown wires for the speaker are disconnected. Okay. Matter of fact, there's no speaker at all in there. If you look down in there, there's no speaker. That would prevent it from talking too. All right, I got a spare speaker. We can do that. That looks upside down. And let's see if there's anything wrong with the circuit board that we can see. It looks pretty. Ooh, it looks, I don't know. Let me tighten it up. I can see. A lot of weird stuff going on right in. Oh, down in there. There's a lot of weird stuff going on down in there. I can't quite tell what's going on. But we'll see what we got going on here. Okay, I moved some wires around a little bit so we can see what's going on here. And these leads are way too long. See that solder blob right there? And these leads are way too long. They hang out and they can touch other circuits. So I don't know. And this is the main 4 volts coming in. If these 4 volts touch these other circuits just right underneath that, it might have burnt this thing out. So if anything's burnt up, it's because of this. These leads are just way too long. It should have been, this insulator should be like really close to right there. So to fix this, I will have to take all this apart right here and get into it. All right, let's try. Okay, the first wire I'm going to try to take off is this wire right here, the blue wire that runs to the negative side of the battery. Let's see if we can get that out of there. Just like that, we got that out. And now we're trying to take out the positive side. Okay, we got those done. All right, I'm going to zoom in. It looks like we got a big gigantic solder blob right there. This big old solder blob right here. Right there's a big old solder blob. I'm trying to remove it. Close it up from the, let's see if I can get it out of there. Okay, that's cleaner. The brown wire right there, the brown wire is part of the speaker wires. Okay. All right, we got that done. Now, I'm going to widen it up here, and I'm going to show you a new tool. All right, this tool here is a solder sucker. All right, it's run off of, let's see if I can make it. It's called a solder sucker. It uses vacuum to suck up old solder. So if you cock it like right there, and right here at this end, you push the button right here, the button on top, it sucks all the solder inside there. So that's what I'm going to try to do, is remove all that old solder from there. Almost. Try again. Okay, got a little hole there. I can work with that. Let's try for the other one. Okay, there we go. We got the holes removed. All the old solder removed out of there. And the next step is to resolder. I'm going to clean up those red and black wires, resolder them back on, and go from there. Okay, I got everything cleaned up. I got the holes exposed, and I got the positive lead sticking out of the board right there. You can see it sticking out. That's the positive lead right there. So the next thing to do is get a little bit of solder and my soldering iron, and let's solder it down. makes it hard is this. I record with a cell phone, and it is right in my face, right where I need to be. But you need to see what I'm doing if you want to learn how to repair your own locos. So I have to wiggle around it. Okay. Yep, that's in there. So let's get the blue one now. Let me get the blue one out here. Where's my tweezers? Right there. And let's see if we can get the blue one in its hole and solder it down. We'll be cooking with gas. Here, if we can get it in there. Okay, it's in. Hopefully it'll stay right there. Did it slide out already? Okay, it's right there. Let's see if we can get in there with some solder now. Starting to run. Turn it off, Mike. Turn me off. Okay. Come on, heat up. Okay. That's got it. Okay, they're both done. So the next thing to do is solder the speaker down. Let's see how that goes. Okay, we got the speaker up here, and let's try to solder it down to the speaker wires. Hold it there long enough to solidify, and take the other wire, go to the other side. Hold it long enough to solidify. All right. Let's see how we see if we got sound. All right, we got sound now. Good to go. We got the wires connected properly. We got the sound down. Next thing to do is to tackle why these wheels aren't turning. Okay, I decided to hold off on soldering that speaker down because I got to take all this apart, and it just makes it harder to manipulate it with that big speaker floating around. But one other thing I noticed when the shell was sitting over on the other side, I saw this screw still sitting in it. Take a look right down in there. Look at that mushroom. Let me get a little closer. They tightened that thing so far down it just mushroomed in. So that is when you over tight. You can't over tight this stuff. Anyway, I'm gonna leave it there because there's no what to do with it. Okay, let me get back in here. All right. So now I got to take it all apart, loosen it all apart, and find out what's going on with the gears and the motor and all that. So let's get at that. Take a look at this gear right here. Looks in good shape. Set that off to the side, and you're missing a very important spring, Leah. I have a spare, but you're missing the very important spring that goes right here. I'll show that here to you in just a second. Okay, I got out that's my extra spring. It's right there. And it connects in. See that little, let me get up close so you can see. Tighten it up. And it connects around this pivot axle right here and connects in way down in there. Let's see if I can get close. There you can see the hole right now. Let's see. It goes inside that hole right there. And one side of the spring goes over here, wraps around there, and then goes inside that hole. You're missing that spring. Wrong way. Yeah, fortunately, I got an extra one, and we'll put that in there. Okay, so let's go ahead and unscrew it. All right, time to show and tell. Okay. All right, here we go. We got parts and pieces in here. First thing I always like to check before we get this and put it in the right spot so we don't lose it right there. I always like to check to see if see this big gap at the bottom right here? This big gap? That gap is there for all these components on top. So it was flipped upside down. So, and it looked like it was putting some excessive wear on. Looks like the tooth is, the gears, it looks like the gears are okay. Looks like everything's all right. Okay, if you remember that loose switch that it was up front, this one right here, it rotated back and forth. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and try to take this punch. Let me make it wide so you can see where I'm going to take this punch, set it on top right there, and give it a couple whacks. And what I'm doing is I'm flattening that rivet that's on the other side. All right, it should be pretty stiff now. Yep, not moving anymore. That's good to go. That's fixed. What also I did is I put a black piece of lip, just tighten up. Put a black piece of insulator underneath the inductors, the two inductors and the capacitor, just the electrical tape underneath there, just so I can do that. That's corrected, that's fixed. So now we'll set that off to the side and right like that. Okay, the wiring here is sort of messed up. It's all kinds of combobulated. That's a word, combobulated. Before I started putting gears in, I took a look at the gears, and this one is questionable right here. It's cracked, obviously this is cracked, but also it's somebody has went in and before and has glued it all down. They put super glue in there to glue it all down, and I don't have another one, so we're gonna have to go with okay, we're gonna try to put this together. Let's see how we do. Okay, Leah, here's the little spring that you were missing. Let's try to install it where it needs to go. It goes right in that little hole right there and wraps around that axle. Together. Not too bad. All right, let's put some screws in it. All right, let's see if we can give it a run. Oh, no, we got to install that switch back on it. Need my little flathead screwdriver. Okay, that's on. Next thing is turn on the switch right here. Okay, it's turning up in there. That's good. Not binding anymore. Okay, next thing to do is attach the speaker. Okay, the next step is to connect the speaker. So let's get at that. We should be able to hopefully turn it on and see if it talks. There it goes. And the motor's running as well. Let me turn it so you can see the motor running. Okay, there you go. All right, so let's turn it off. Oh, and also I found one a broken weight. It should look like this, but it's almost all the way there. You're just missing a little bit of weight right there, but a broken one's better than none. So let's try to wrap this up. All right, let's test it one more time before we move on. Yep, works. Moving, talking. All right, good to go. Okay, let's close it up and take it up on the track and give it a run. Okay, I got Leah's Talking Action James, Japanese speaking James, on the table, and I do have a copy of the Play-Rails catalog for the year 2000. All right, if you want to look on that page, page number 25, if you look on page number 25, you'll see that it has new for this year, Talking Action James, year 2000. Now, this is the battery cover for Leah's Talking Action James, and it says F00. F is the sixth letter in the alphabet, so that makes it the month of June. 00 represents the year 2000. So Leah has two special logos. She has the Talking Action English speaking Percy and one of the very first Talking Action James. Now, with that being said, this toy is over 25 years old, so it sometimes has some problems with some logic, but it can get around the track. It does fairly well around the track considering its age. So let's put it up on the track. Okay, I got Leah's pair of Talking Action logos on the track up here. On the right, I have her English-speaking Percy, and on the left is her Japanese-speaking James. And I painted the face a little bit. I just used a little small paintbrush and a little bit of paint. And if we keep our hands off the face, it might last for a little bit. So let's go ahead and give James a run. Not bad for an old train. Thanks for watching. See you next time.